isn't working. Oy vey. Ooh, oh, I know why. When he was asking me for different inputs, I pulled out the mic. I am not the brightest. Okay. I think you can hear us now. Good, 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 good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live stream. Oh, do I go through all of that again now? Do you think? I think
Yeah, I think so.
I probably should, shouldn't I? Okay. Hello, everyone. Um, it's Mark Griffiths and Chay Long, the Wrexham media teams, Charles and Diana. So, you still humoured me by laughing at that, Chay. Well done, you. So brilliant. Sorry about the sound confusion. Basically, I pulled stuff out of my laptop and didn't put it back in again. I'm not very bright. An excellent result tonight. Philip Smith saying great first goal, yeah, and the move for the second one as well was fantastic. Rob Harrison saying, "What a magic night! Proud to be a Wrexham fan right now." Yeah, it was. That was very pleasing. Lots of praise as well for the stream and Mark Crichton, who was doing the summaries. Um, Philip Smith is asking if we were in the seat on our ticket. There's quite a lot of choice, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, I'm where I should be, honest. And I'm a good distance away from Che, as you can see. So, any questions or queries? Off you go. But Che, certainly it was a great performance. I was really happy. Well, I think great. Good performance, maybe is fairer, but I was very happy with it.
Well, yeah, it was a solid performance. Not one player put in a bad foot, in my opinion. I think Kelleher, again, outstanding. And I think French on the right-hand side of him, again, causing all sorts of problems, attacking as well as defending. So an all-round solid performance of Wrexham for me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Robert Jones is saying the most comfortable I've seen the team to date. For me, the Sutton game stands out above everything else because that was against a very strong team, and we really battered them. So I think that's the measure we should be aiming at. But we were comfortable. I agree. We looked good value for the win. The moment we went ahead, I thought at 0-0, it felt like a lot of Wrexham games that haven't turned out well this season, where we looked neat and tidy but weren't working the keeper enough. And if you don't get that goal, those games tend to turn a bit sour. But we did get the goal, and then we pressed on in the second half, so it was very pleasing. Yolo Jones asking, any idea what that high-pitched sound was? Well, I know Jay Harris was suspended. Maybe it was him. I don't know. He was here. Um, Again, happy with the stream. More positive comments. Uh, Mr. Bill Long, uh, whoever that might be, Chay Long. Yeah, so you might not have seen it yet, but Keats and Young were very critical of themselves in the performance. What did you make of it? I was happy with it. Like I said, I tempered myself a little bit. I said great performance. I know it was a great performance. It was a good performance. I think if we are going to achieve what we want to achieve this season, we need to be winning home games against teams in the bottom half of the table. Even though that table is congested, isn't it? Really, a couple of wins and walking it up where we are. But I think they will be bottom half of the table side when it all settles down, albeit nowhere near relegation, personally. I thought it was perfectly fine and solid, and once we got that first goal, it changed the nature of the game. And like other games we played where we're sort of chasing the game and we're trying to find a way to break teams down, we got that goal. And I thought we were comfortable second half. You could hear Dibble shouting, stay up, stay up. They were clearly conscious they wanted to learn the lesson from the mistake against Dagenham of sitting too deep and allowing Dagenham to get back into the match. And we did keep him at arm's length. I know Dibble made some late saves, but I thought he was comfortable. You know, they were shooting from the edge of the area, apart from that one when the lovely through ball, when he dived to his right and saved it. But I was happy with the performance. I'm happy to hear Keats and Young aren't because I like people having high standards. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
yeah. It wasn't. To be honest, it wasn't a performance where I'm dancing and singing. I think we did a professional job against a well-structured side. For me, I've seen them highlights of them prior to the game. I didn't think they were very good. I think they were in the position of the table for a reason, but they actually look like a good side and had some very good spells against us today. And previously in the season, we may have conceded a couple of goals from set pieces. They're a very physical side, so to keep a clean sheet in a very, what I'd say, professional performance from Wrexham today, me personally.
Yeah, professional's a great way of putting it, I think. I think it was controlled. But then again, I keep coming back. The goal gives that context. Otherwise, imagine this game without those 2 goals. It's then, people are going to be unhappy, drab 0-0. I know it's a really stupid, obvious comment, but, goals change games. And I think it could have meandered on and frittered out a bit if we hadn't got that goal at that time.
Yeah, the goal before the break was vital, because then they had to attack us coming into the second half, which I think left them open. And I think the pace, for me, Dior Angus was absolutely fantastic today, showing a lot of pace and really worked their defenders, who were quite big and slow, but they were physical guys. So I think towards the end of the second half, we really started frustrating them, and we were just the better side. So a very professional performance again. So happy days.
Yeah, well, if I take these a bit out of order as well, I'll jump backwards in a moment, don't worry. Rob Harrison saying about the strikers, the front two is looking very good, linking up very well, considering they've only worked together for a few weeks, more to come hopefully. I mean, yeah, since Angus has come in, we have looked a bit more fluid and dangerous, and I think Thomas does link well with him. And I was making a point in the commentary as well today that I think we're bringing in a few more players of academy quality players, or players who played at a higher level, and it's just clicking a little bit more. You've seen those little combination plays when somebody else, who was it, Robert Jones, saying French looks very settled, combining well with Hall Johnson. Yeah, 2 lads who've come up through academies who know how to move the ball around. Those little partnerships are just gelling a little bit more, and I like it.
Yeah, it's really good to see with Tyler French. It seems like he's played with us for the whole season.
Yeah.
I'm loving how comfortable he is, just jumping in straight away head first at Wrexham, and you can tell he's played at a higher level because he looks so relaxed for a player of his age in a really important position. And as well, Kelleher by the sides of him made some absolutely outstanding tackles today. I've been impressed with the defence all season, but today they were very good. They were the best part of the performance for me.
And like we said, they kept a decent line. They didn't sit too deep. Kelleher, I was happy with him from the start of the season, but I feel the last 6 weeks or so he's really kicked on, and I think it's not necessarily just to switch to 3 at the back. It's to switch to him being the central one. Remember, at first he was the right-sided one. That didn't suit him. But as the central man in the 3, he's very dominant, isn't he?
Yeah. When he was playing on the right side, I don't think he's fast enough. So I think he was obviously struggling. So he's more of a stopper, isn't he? He plays in the middle. And I think, he's been absolutely brilliant these last few weeks. So very happy. Also happy with Jordan Davis today. I thought he played fantastic.
Yeah, and Jarvis did well until he went off. It was difficult to do well after he went off, obviously. But especially that spell about 15 minutes before he went off, when he really did link things up. He did really well in the build-up to the penalty. He had that terrific volley that the keeper saved well. And it was good to see him stepping forwards. But speaking of people stepping forwards, now there's a bit of momentum here in the comments. Alfie Parry asks, should Dibble be the new number 1? Kev H, Dibble more dynamic shot stopper than Rob. Robert Jones, I agree, Alfie. And Stuart Pritchard saying, good to see Dibble putting in some good performances. I was very critical, but happy to eat humble pie on this one. Good man. I admire that. Is he the new number 1? That's that's interesting debating point.
That's a really tough one, because I think you should be playing the team that's in form no matter what. So for me, I think definitely he could be our number 1, but Leighton is also a tremendous goalkeeper. Maybe he's a bit better coming out for the ball, and he's a bit better with the ball at his feet than Dibble, I think, as well. His distribution's a little bit better, but Dibble's shot stopping's been absolutely outstanding, isn't it, Mark?
Oh, he's done very well. I've always been a fan of Dibble's, and that's why I was saluting Stuart as well, because fair play to you, mate, for actually saying, I was worried about him, but I'm sold now. Having said that, Leighton is a very, very high quality goalkeeper, and well, it's a nice dilemma to have. But having said that, I don't know. You've got to be hard-nosed, and Leighton's a very good keeper, I would say. So I'd anticipate that at some point soon he'd probably be returned to the side. But we said this on one of our podcasts, didn't we? That a manager has got to also manage his squad as people. And the fact of the matter is, he's got to keep them happy, and he's got to make sure that, if Dibble thinks, well, I can come in the team and do really well, and then I've got no chance of being first choice, that can cause unhappiness in the squad. So it's an interesting situation for Keats to inherit. But for what it's worth, I mean, I think Leighton's a Football League quality goalkeeper, and he'd be very unlucky if he wasn't getting his place back.
Well, exactly, and the problem is with not putting him back in, then you're going to look at League 2 and League 1 clubs who might take a punt and try and buy him in the summer,
exactly.
which would be a massive shame. It's also the same with Pearson, isn't it? Does he walk back into the team after Kelleher's fine performances?
Especially because Kelleher's performances are in exactly where Pearson would fit into this team. I don't think you would want to play Pearson as a centre-back either side. So there's an issue there as well. But it's a nice issue. I mean, another one James and I were talking about at half-time was, for me, the position where Jordan Davis has hurt teams the most has been left wing-back. But you can't put him there with Record in the team. So Record plays left wing-back. Jordan is then accommodated somewhere else. I think he can play other positions too, but it's nice to have those options. I felt in the summer we'd brought a squad in with depth. At the start of the season, I wasn't sure we were totally seeing that depth, but I think we are now, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's reassuring to know if we do pick up injuries, and as a football side at this moment in time, or, with COVID as well, that if one can catch COVID or get injuries, we have the backup in the several different positions, which is brilliant, isn't it?
Exactly. We may be short a bit in attack and obviously in goal, but just so they hope we can get through it. And as to put the final comment on the Dibble debate, as Rob Harrison rightly says, the good thing is we don't need to rush Rob back, and I think that's a fair comment.
Yeah, that is a fair comment. And if Leighton comes back and he isn't 100% straight away, then maybe Dibble comes back into the team. It's nice to have competition in all positions. As well as goalkeeper, even though it is a position that you shouldn't really be chopping and changing. So it's a really hard debate to have.
Exactly. Alfie Parry asks, why are Chester the smallest club in North Wales? Well, that's a good question, that, I feel. I mean, why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? How can we answer these philosophical questions as the lights go off at the racecourse? We're going to have to feel our way back across. I don't know. I suppose because it's just the way of things. It's nature, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it is.
Poor little lambs. Jeff says next time you see Durrell, ask him why he's always running towards our goal with the ball. Well, he's dangerous in the box. It doesn't matter which box. That was a mad moment. I didn't enjoy that. I mean, firstly, I thought he was going to give a free kick away, going for a tackle he couldn't really make, and he did manage to nick the ball, but then he just ran into the heart of our box. That was terrifying. Thank goodness we got away with that.
It was a strange moment, wasn't it?
Yeah. Llama Dog Games, is that? Yeah, absolutely. Remember Llama Dog Games 88 and Seoul? They were classic. Any idea about Vassal, Pearson and Leighton? No. I mean, we've said this before, that they often, Keats tends to play things pretty close to his chest, doesn't he? And... no, we haven't got any insight on that, I'm afraid. Hopefully they'll be back fairly soon.
Yeah, hopefully. And I think Vassell's slotting really well at that back three. And I think we could have one of the best defenders in the league once he slots back in. Yeah,
exactly. Kev 8 saying Woking were very switched on, maybe not talented or special to watch, but they weren't pushovers. No, they moved the ball around nicely in our half, and they were... They were a decent side, I thought, in terms of their approach play. And they played better than they have done in recent games, which I've seen. So that was very gratifying.
Yeah, it was always going to be a task today. You can always look at the table and think, oh, this team's down here, and they're going to be an easy team to beat, and we should be beating these by X amount of goals. But they were a strong physical side who actually passed the ball around really nicely at times, and they were a difficult task for Wrexham to have, and I think the way we defended against them was so professional and calm, and it was so nice to see us be so calm and relaxed on the ball at the back and spray the ball around. No, I was very happy with the result.
Exactly, yeah. Kev is talking about Fika Carey. Yeah, there's a definite similarity between those two players. there's a little conversation which you've resolved for yourselves about the how many people watch the stream, which is actually published on the stream, and was why, in a weird sort of way, it was a shame the Notts County game wasn't on. But we actually make more money out of the stream than we would out of being on BT. So and we've actually financially will come out better from the fact it was off. Now then, oh hello, Mark Lush saying, do they have heat lamps over the goal areas? We'll have them all over the pitch soon, like at Old Trafford. Yes, can you see? Right, I think that one's going to be the best angle to go for. If I move that across a little bit, you can see that there's a... Sorry, I'm just waiting for the lag on this. Alright, it's coming across now. Yeah, you've got the heat lamps on the goal mouth, and then you've also got, on the other goal mouth, they've got one as well. These are pretty new. I haven't got my facts straight. I think it's to do with the new ownership, but I'm not 100%, but I think it is. And it's nice to see that we've got that sort of stuff being put into place. They used it to try and get the Notts County game on as well. I'm not sure how successful they were. Well, they weren't successful, were they, with that? So, right. Jeff says, if you can't tell us when players are fit, can you let me know if the Railway pub is still going strong in Rosethea? During normal times, obviously. Well, again, I mean, Dean Keats plays it very close to his chest, which pubs are open in Wrexham and which pubs aren't. So I don't know if we can actually respond, can we, on that? I think you really need to write to the manager on that. Bill, again, does Harris miss out on a place next week? I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no too.
Even though Jarvis and Davis did very well, I think, especially as an away game too, I think you want that robustness in the middle of the pitch. Random question from Wonderboy931. I don't want to get you mixed up with those other Wonder Boys. And I don't know if I... can you answer that? I don't know if I can. Opinions on the song Always Sunny in Wrexham by local band Declan Swans. I haven't heard that one. I know Declan Swans are big Wrexham fans. But
I haven't listened to it either.
I'll do my homework for next Saturday. I'll get that sorted. Right. Rob Jones, any news on the league vote? Not as of yet. We don't know what's going on there. I assume they'll punish Dover severely because they can't be seen to allow a team to just say we're not playing anymore, because if they allow that to happen, other teams will do it. So I assume they'll expel them. And certainly if it follows the pattern that's been done previously, and I can't see how it couldn't be, if the National League expel them, they won't just expel them from our league, they'll expel them from the league below as well, because the National League runs those three divisions. So my assumption would be Dover will get expelled down 2 leagues. But I haven't heard anything more than that. My gut feeling, I hope I'm right, is that our season will be completed unless it's the actual public health issue that stops it. I could be wrong. And I suppose I could imagine a situation where if a number of small clubs who don't want to continue get together and all say we don't want to continue, then okay, that causes an issue there. You can't relegate 10 teams, but I don't know. I don't think it'll come to that.
I can't see that happening. There may be another couple of sides that do what Dover do, and if there's, so what do you think would happen if there was, say, 4 that do it, not 3 teams?
I mean, my question would be, once if Dover do get that punishment, and it's a logical punishment, it's a bit reckless, isn't it, to think, oh, we'll take that punishment too, because you're dropping down quite a lot.
Yeah.
If you're a southern team, it might be not as bad as a northern team. My impression is that the Vanarama North is much higher standard than the Vanarama South, and the reasons for saying that are many. You often see the same teams going up and down from the south. Ebbsfleet, Woking, teams like that. Dartford, you don't tend to see teams yo-yoing from the north because it's more difficult to get up again. Also, because northern teams have often come through and within a couple of years have gone up again or have been a force, whereas southern teams haven't so much. I'm not saying that's completely true, but it's generally true, I would say. And also look at the calibre of teams that have gone down to the north and got stuck there, like York City. I mean, York City should be in the Football League. as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
They're stuck in the 6th level because it's a proper league. So the southern teams might think, oh, we can jump back up. I think northern teams might not so much. There's not that many northern teams in our league, I suppose, are there? I don't know. What I will say is I will point out the irony, sort of about self-interest, of when the first amount of money was given, and it was a grant before Christmas, all the little clubs said we should have the same amount as the big clubs. It should just be split evenly. And when it's a loan, so you've got to pay it back, they're all saying, oh, it's not fair. We shouldn't have to take that much. It should be according to the size of the club. Oh, well, yeah. Cake, eat it.
Yeah.
Nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Right, we're going to wrap up quite soon because it's starting to get cold, even though it's been quite mild this evening. Kev saying Kings Lynn will try and throw a spanner in it. Yes, they're the ones I'm thinking of as potentially, they might join that. And so, Jeff saying the vote's been taken, results on the 28th. Dover, Kings Lynn and Darlington that I know of who want to bin it for the season. So, that's no huge surprise there. Well, let's finish on this one. John PR, as it is the first game with the new owners, what improvements do you think will happen in the racecourse? Well, there's an obvious one, I think, over there.
Yeah, you'd like to think so.
The cop stand's going to get redeveloped. It's inevitable now. I think it was inevitable, to be fair, without the new owners. The Trust put a lot of hard work in with the council and with the Welsh Government, and there's going to be this big regeneration spend in this part of town anyway, and that's part of it. So I think that was going to happen anyway. The new ownership certainly doesn't hurt in that sense.
I think improving just the general wear and tear of the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe the bars and things like that.
Yeah,
The catering facilities, things like that may be improved.
The bar in the Wrexham stand, as I understand it, is just a concrete concourse. So it'd be nice to have something like that. I can tell you that the scoreboard has seen better days. And people sometimes, I understand this, complain about the scoreboard, saying it's a bit slow. Yeah. Believe me, I mean, I've never worked a scoreboard, but I've often sat next to the scoreboard operator, and the software to run that is ancient, so that needs an upgrade. But naturally, it's not a priority. But if you've got disposable cash, I think the most important thing, and I don't don't misinterpret me here. I love this ground, and I took part in the overnight vigil when it looked like it was going to get knocked down. I stay here, and this is our home. However, it should be pointed out, it's a crumbly old ground now, and it's not really fit for modern purpose. I mean, behind the scenes, as a stadium, it's fine, but behind the scenes, it's not great. The infrastructure's poor. The amount of office space and things like that is poor. Some of the things which a live broadcast requires isn't here, or the space around it isn't here. Although I want us to stay here, ironically, had it not been for the fact that it was such an issue that we were protecting the ground, it might have been beneficial to have a new stadium, if I'm honest. But the fans made that impossible by fighting for the stadium, and I was one of those fans, and I don't want to leave. So I'm not don't misinterpret me. But the infrastructure of this ground is 1970s and crumbling. So I think there's got to be quite a bit of investment in the sort of behind the scenes stuff that maybe won't impact fans that much, but will help things to work here. The Wi-Fi's poor.
Yeah.
Or should I say patchy. Some bits it's good, some bits it isn't. There's lots of different Wi-Fi. My son used to be the analyst for Dean Keats in his first spell, and he would film the game, and then he'd have to run across the pitch at half-time with a laptop under his arm to because the Wi-Fi wasn't good enough to send stuff across. The Wi-Fi's not changed since, so I assume that's still done. That's not good enough. We need that sort of infrastructure change, which the fans might not notice. Although I haven't said that, free Wi-Fi for the fans would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. There's a lot of things we can build upon as well. We have the best wheelchair area.
Yes. Yeah.
In probably in British football.
Yeah.
It's the best view in the house, which is absolutely fantastic.
We could easily put another one there. That was a plan, I think, isn't it? I think that was what the Trust were moving towards.
I'd like to see those blue chairs in the restaurant stand be changed into red.
Fair point,
not look so shabby. But I think the stadium, as you said, is a bit 1970s. So just obviously improving the wear and tear, making it look like modern, not like a traditional ground, like, but modern at the same time, if
yeah.
you know what I mean.
I don't think there's much point in me moving the camera to show this because I don't think it's good enough to pick her up. But if you look behind Chay, you can see that in the very bottom left corner of the stand, the seats are very red because they're brand new. And then you look at the state of the seats above them, they're pink. With the odd red one put in because, you know, away fans smashing seats, basically. So, you know, that sort of thing. It's cosmetic, but I think it makes you look professional. Yeah. I remember going to Darlington's weird, massive White Elephant Stadium, and they didn't have the money to sort it out at all. And the seats were all pink, except for there's a line, the line where the sun went under the stand on the other side. So they're massively pink with a little curved red bit at the bottom. You know, over there, those blue seats, there's lots of red seats mixed in randomly with them because they've been broken and replaced by what we've got. Well, we can fix all that now, can't we? But that's not important. I don't think they'll fill the corners. No fans have often talked about filling the corners in. Well, if they do, it'll be part of a bigger redevelopment, I think.
Yeah, but I think that's when if we ever get higher in the English tiers, isn't it, really?
Yeah, yeah. I think that there's not much room here, unfortunately, is it, because of the student flats, and that's a whole different political issue. Yeah. Which is a great shame. We used to have a massive car park back there, and there was such scope to develop. Possibly, we haven't now got that, and that's a blow for us. We've only got a little run down the back of that stand. We've got nothing. The main roads on the back here. There's potential with the COP. Depends on how that's redeveloped, though. So yeah, nice. We better run, I suppose, hadn't we? I suppose. Okay, chaps, sorry that we waffled on a little bit there at the end. I'm trying to think of other infrastructure things that quite interested me.
Maybe it could be a topic on Dragonheart later this week.
There's an idea. Right, yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for doing my job for me. Thanks, chaps. Excellent. That. Right, we'd better run. Okay. So, I just want to point out that Gary Elson's there saying Hartlepool, Torquay, Notts County, Stockport still have all to come to our beautiful ground. So we're in a promotion race. 100% agree. Right, we've got to run. Ryan Donovan, electric scoreboard in the corner. I like that idea. Yes, spot on. Right, so then, we're going to run. We won, by the way. I remember that game. We were talking about that a while ago, weren't we? We're going to pull this mask up as well. It's driving me crazy. That's better. Good night, my friends.